So I've had the Rivian now for a few days and I'm already facing my first dilemma, and that's how the heck am I gonna charge this thing? That over there, the supercharger, only has about a 6-foot cable on it, much like a typical supercharger, and the charge port's right here. So if I back in, it's not gonna reach. If I pull in, it's not gonna reach to the front of the garage. Oops, should have thought about this ahead of time. I do have this charger here, and we have that one there, we have 3 of the Tesla chargers right there, there, and there, and they work great. They run in parallel, so basically we can plug in 3 Teslas and it will load balance. It's awesome. But unfortunately, the Rivian doesn't have a Tesla connector. So maybe I kind of backed myself into a wall when I started putting all these Tesla chargers up here. But I think today we will have the perfect solution, be able to plug this into that. So charging your R1T is actually pretty easy. You touch it just right and it will open itself and present to you the charge port. The downside, Tesla does not fit in that. There's just no way. It's never gonna happen. So the cool thing though is there are some adapters you can actually get to get a Tesla wall charger. It works basically everything but superchargers to charge a J1772, which is what this is. So long ago, David had purchased this monstrosity, I think we can call it that, and it just kind of looks like floppy. I'll just call it what it is. It worked. One of our friends had a Chevy Spark and he needed to charge here once or twice, so David bought this so he could. But basically this does 250 volts, max 40 amps. So keep that in mind. You're gonna wanna remember that. Operational temperature, I mean, if you're outside, yeah, don't charge outside that anyway. Connector port, Tesla, charging port, J1772 standard. Like, who came up with this? I don't know. But anyway, this is what we did have, and it worked a couple times for our friend. You would actually take this plug off. The Tesla would plug right in there. And then this end also had a plug. Would plug right into your J1772. But then you got all this stuff dangling, literally, all dangling. And it just, I can't get over how it looks. Anyway, you can plug it in, but it dangles so low and everything, it can kind of bend the Tesla cable. So I was never a huge fan of this, and I didn't want to use this option. So I found another option, which ironically happens to be by the same company as that. However, this is a much smaller form factor. It's not the size that counts, it's the charge rate, which can go up to a max of 48 amps, same 250 volts. You get a slightly different operating temperature. It's the Tesla to J1772. It only weighs 1 pound. It's super small, super lightweight, and I'm gonna show it to you. This video has taken a turn for the worse. In the past, it was something like this, and now it is something like this. As you can see here, they did away with all of this and got it all in here, and this one charges at 48, this one charges at 40. So that is great. Now, to use a set adapter, you have a release down here, you have a release up here. So up here is for the car, down here is for the Tesla. So pushing this right here is how you will remove this and you actually install it. That actually lifts a little pin that actually hooks in right here. Hopefully you can see that. So if you just push it in, it's not really gonna go, but if you push this part right here, hopefully you can see that. Click, and we're in. So now we can go over to the Rivian, and you can see down here, that's if you're going to be fast charging, you don't need that, so that bottom part can stay closed. You will just simply push it right in. The Rivian's gonna go green. We're gonna get green up in the front, green up in the back. Now the front and the back won't stay for very long, but that will go blue, and then when it's actively charging, it will turn green. I set it for scheduled charging because we are on time of use. I don't want to charge during the day. I want to charge at night when the electricity is cheap, so keep that in mind. But it does work, so 2 thumbs up. Now, I even bought a little holster dock from Electron as well. Not sponsored by Electron, by the way. We have bought all this ourselves, so I just found that their adapters tend to be the nicest looking, the best branded, and also the safest, which is vastly important. But anyway, I bought this little holster dock here, and it can actually just be kind of fitted anywhere in the garage. It comes with some screws and everything. That way I can mount this just on the wall over here. So if I need a place to put the adapter while we use this charger to charge another Tesla, I have options, which is great. I don't want this adapter just kind of floating around. It's not necessarily cheap, so keep that in mind. I think it was like $200, maybe. I'll list it up here. I'll list the Amazon link to this adapter and this as well. This you'll just screw into the wall wherever you want it, and that can just hook right in, and it doesn't pull out unless you use the little handle. So it's gonna keep it somewhere safe, somewhere not on the grounds where someone can walk on it, run it over, anything like that. Or like maybe put in one car when you need it for another car. I can just have it straight on the wall and just unplug it when I need it and put it back when I don't. So let's go ahead and plug everything back in and show you that it's actually charging and see if we can actually get to our 48 amps. Okay, so blue means it's connected. Now let's jump in the vehicle. So I have it set already for charging at 5:30 to 9 a.m. and I'll kind of walk all through this in a future video. Excuse the glare, it's very glary. Anyway, I do have it already charged up. It's at 83% instead of 85, so we can go ahead and just hit charge now. And so it is starting to ramp up right now. It'll take just a second, but also this charging screen is where you will turn on your 120 volt outlets. You can change your charging amps, which actually it looks like it says default 48, but it's at 40. And it won't let me go, that's interesting. It won't let me go up any, but I can go down, but then I can't go back up. That's cool how you can change that. I like that. Maybe we need to unplug and plug back in, and then we can change this before we start charging. Let's try that. Okay, just unplugged and plugged back in. Still not letting me go back up, which is odd. Okay, just plugged in. Waiting for this to pop up. Okay, so there we go. Well, now it's only letting me do 38. Okay, I don't know why that is. I guess I'll have to research that, but it does charge at least at that full 38, which is great. And I love how here you can actually press this and it'll show you the kilowatts and the kilowatt hours added. Or you do that and it's the miles and the miles added. That's really nice. And I don't see anywhere on here where we can see amps, unfortunately, besides just right here. So I guess we're just gonna have to trust that. Okay, so I was just playing around with stuff and I unplugged for a few minutes and came back and now it's just 48. So we're good, I guess. We'll call it good. We're at 48. If we hit charge now, I mean, there's only like 2% that we need to get to 85. So it says it'll end at like 4:08, which is in 12 minutes. But let's see what it ramps up to for miles per hour. Looks to be about 26 miles per hour, which honestly is not that bad considering most people's daily commute might be like 60 miles, so it would probably only take 2 hours a night to fully charge back to your like 85% or whatever driving level you get it to. So it's really not too bad. And even if you do completely drain the battery and you charge it home, it would probably only take like 10 hours or so to fully charge. So it's really not too bad. And very rarely, I think, would people completely drain the truck down to zero by the time they get home and need the full 300 something miles at the end of the day. Now the cool thing is you do see range based on conserve, and it will tell you when clicking that exactly some other options. So you have all purpose or sport, and then you have full charge for conserve. Right now I'm at 326. If I was in all purpose, it'd be about 301, in sport about 297. And so this is based on my driving history with 21-inch road tires. Obviously other tires might change that and depending on how you drive. The cool thing is this eye right here will tell you elements that impact your range. I wish Tesla would kind of show something like this. Talks about your drive mode, your climate controls, your weather and temperature, your style of driving, your tires, and your elevation. So I wish Tesla would kind of break it down like this, because a lot of people don't truly know. So it is kind of nice that it is all there at least. So that is how I am able to use a Tesla wall connector to charge my Rivian. I'm super thankful that these adapters exist like this. You can actually see it is charging right now with the green here and the green over by my head. Now, Rivian does sell their own wall chargers, and I did order one of those. That has not arrived yet, but that is something you can do. But for any of you Tesla owners out there that already have the charging equipment in there, there is a cheap, easy alternative for you to be able to use them to charge your non-Tesla, or in this case, a Rivian. Definitely let me know down below if you have any other good suggestions on how to charge a car with J1772 when you only have Tesla connectors around. Is this something where you would install a J1772 connector, or would you rather just get a little adapter such as this to be able to use your current charging infrastructure? So that's basically it for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. As always, huge thanks to our channel sponsor, Abstract Ocean. If you are looking to accessorize your Model S, X, 3, or Y, and Rivian's coming up soon, definitely check them out. All linked down below, and using code Tesla Inventory will get you 15% off of your first purchase. So many useful accessories to really help protect your Tesla as well as make it your own, so definitely check them out. As always though, a thumbs up if you enjoyed that video. Go ahead and click here to subscribe here for some other ones, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.